keep moving, but they can't just cross the unknown perimeter. To ensure its safety, the team is using a mine detector. When the operator detects something, he stops to investigate. It looks like it's just wood, but they are not sure. The fact that the device goes off could very well be a mine. Engineer Gaima is called to help disarm the explosive. Gaima is not ready yet and is unable to move. Cairo and Getulio are inches away from the mine when the unexpected happens. The mine explodes and kills both men right away. Pandemonium then breaks loose when the rest of the team hears the explosion, thinking it's the Germans dropping bombs on them. The soldiers run for safety and are separated from each other. They are in the middle of nowhere, and the chaos does not help. The next day, Gaima is devastated to see the dead bodies of Carioca and Getulio. They were always together on every mission. Soldiers are reunited with Piaui, who has tried to get the attention of other lost soldiers. They stop Piaui from making noises to avoid being detected by the Germans. Moments later, a German truck passes by to patrol the area. The Brazilian soldiers are able to hide. The truck is stuck as it passes through a steep area. Colonel Meyer does not want the driver to force the truck to keep trying to save gas. Instead, he asks that the soldiers go down, including the Italian prisoner they caught. Everyone is invited to push the truck, the prisoner included. Meyer orders that he is uncuffed. As soon as the Italian finds an opportunity to escape, he runs towards the forest. One soldier aims and shoots in his direction, but Captain Meyer stops him. They need the prisoner alive. They then begin to hunt him down. In the base, reporter Rui is warned not to publish in his journal about 2 Brazilian soldiers who came down after panicking the night before. The colonel tells him that it's just a rumor, and he has no proof that there were 2 who did come down from the field. Rui is persistent. He asks that he be allowed to go to the American observation point, but is denied. Rui walks out and decides to go to the American observation point himself. Sergeant Laurendo, Gaima, Piaui, and Lieutenant Pena reach the American observation point, but are unwilling to risk going in. They are not sure if Americans are inside, but the place looks quiet. The only way to find out is to get inside, but without the Americans expecting their arrival, they put their lives at risk. In the event that American soldiers are there, they might get shot. Someone needs to step up and get inside. Piaui is tasked to perform a hazardous task to go in. He begins to check the area nervously. Since he cannot report back immediately, the team decides to go in and look for Piaui. Moments later, Rui, the journalist, arrives to investigate and verify the story that he is about to publish. The Brazilians can see him from the inside. Piaui sneaks up behind his back and asks him to put his arms up. Rui explains that he is a Brazilian journalist. The team is surprised but welcomes him anyway. Rui is asked who permitted him to be there. He lies that it's Colonel Lourenço. Rui then tells them that 2 of their men went back to the command post after panicking. They refuse to confirm if that really happened. The team now needs to find a way to get rid of Rui before he finds out what happened. The team overhears the Americans on the radio talking about opening road number 47 using tanks, but they struggle due to the number of mines. 2 tanks have already been destroyed. This gives them hope to redeem themselves instead of going back to the command post and facing court-martial. They need to do the task of disarming the mines themselves. They invite Rui to go with them instead of leaving him alone and figuring out their mess. Rui takes advantage of this opportunity as this could be beneficial to his career as well. On their way, they meet Italian refugees whose houses were burnt by the Germans. They look tired and hungry. The team gives them food and resumes their journey en route to Road 47. They see an abandoned house on their way and decide to clear it to be sure. They find out that the house belongs to the family that they encountered along the road earlier. As the rest of the team decides to leave, Gaima senses that someone is in the house. He refuses to give up and goes to every room until he finds the Italian prisoner who ran away from the Germans. His name is Giovanni, and he owns the house. They tell him where his family is headed to San Justo, 2 kilometers from Road 47. Giovanni is captured but is able to explain through Rui that he's alone. Rui interprets for the team. He also adds that he's not a threat and mentions that he's a friend as Brazilians are part of the Allies. Pena wants Giovanni to go with them to Road 47. Giovanni refuses to go as he prefers that the Brazilians wait for American reinforcements. Pena insists that they go without waiting for the Americans. Giovanni gives in but wants to carry a gun as going there is dangerous. The Americans lost 2 tanks in that area. He is then given a handgun. Gaima and Piaui are tasked to trap the place with flares. That way, if the Germans arrive at night, they will know. The strategy works. When the Germans who are looking for the prisoner enter the perimeter, the flares go off. The 2 teams then engage in a battle. The next day, Captain Meyer is caught. He's badly wounded. Piaui is ready to kill him but is reprimanded by Pena. Giovanni closes in and is surprised that the Brazilians are attempting to save him. He points his gun at him but is immediately stopped. He explains that Germans like him should be killed, but the team decides to keep him alive. They then take him inside. Meyer explains that he's a deserter and that he and his team fled the war. He also offers to take the Brazilians to Road 47 when he hears that they are heading that way. Giovanni is not thrilled with the idea, but the Brazilians need all the help that they can get. This is their moment of redemption, and they can't afford to miss this opportunity. The team resumes their trek towards Road 47. They take turns carrying Meyer using a carrier. When it's Giovanni's turn, he refuses to do it. He then walks away from the team, pointing a gun at them. Moments later, Giovanni is captured by the Italian military. Giovanni explains to them what he is, but they refuse to believe him. Giovanni also sees the luggage that belongs to his family. He is concerned about what might have happened to them. Later on, Giovanni gets to meet the captain of the team. He explains to him that he's a deserter and not a threat, but the captain wants to be sure first. Until then, he is treated like a prisoner. The team is up against the brutal snow, but they keep marching forward. They can't afford to fail. While resting due to exhaustion, some members begin to question their intention of Meyer. Is he really helping them to find the road or taking them to the Germans waiting to ambush the Brazilians? Meyer is then given 10 minutes to find the minefield, otherwise, he will be killed. Meyer assures them where the minefield is. He forces himself to get up and starts braving the snow. Meyer walks towards an area nearby before he collapses. With all his might, he points to Road 47's location. Meyer warns them that the mines are not designed for humans but for tanks. They are designed to destroy tanks. From a distance, they can see the wrecked tanks of the Americans. They get rid of the dead bodies and get in to seek shelter for the night. Piaui befriends Meyer and asks him about soccer and if he has a girlfriend. Meyer grabs a photo from his wallet and shows Piaui a picture of him with his family. He shares that his wife is a teacher. He passes the picture to Piaui and then to Laurindu. In return, Laurindu shows a photo of his daughter to Giovanni. Laurindu adds that his family is into music, particularly samba. He then begins to sing. Peña comes over to stop them. The next day, the team begins working on the task. With their mine detector's help, engineer Gaima can find one. Laurindu then carefully removes the mine and places it somewhere to be disarmed. Gaima notices that one of mine is missing. Sergeant Laurindu wants Gaima to just leave it as they cleared most of the mines. Gaima is not happy with the idea. He asks the sergeant to look for a telephone wire. He leaves Gaima alone and retrieves the wire from Piaui. Peña questions him for leaving the engineer on his own. A vast explosion surprises the rest of the team. This happens while Gaima is alone with the mine. They scramble to see what just happened. Peña is concerned that Gaima has been killed. He is delighted to know that he is not harmed. Gaima explains that he had to blow the mine up as retrieving it is more dangerous. The two then share a hug. He tells the lieutenant that the rest of the mines will have to be blown for safety. He uses the telephone wire that Laurindu brought and then blew up the mines. Once the road is finally cleared, engineer Gaima becomes emotional. It's the first time that he's in the field without his two comrades, Carioca and Getulio. The team, successful with their mission, is headed back to their command post. They carry Meyer with them, who begs that they leave him. Exhausted, the team takes a breather. Laurindu mentions that even if Meyer survives, he will still be killed by the partisans. Piaui, who already shared intimate moments with the German prisoner, can't afford to let Meyer just die or be killed. He volunteers to take in Meyer and considers him as his personal prisoner. Piaui separates from the team and begins to carry the German. He will do whatever it takes to save his life. When they arrive in the city, they are greeted by Giovanni, the Italian deserter who ran away from them and is in the custody of the Italian captain. They assure him that the road has been cleared and that they just want a radio to inform the Americans. As a result, Giovanni is brought in, who collaborates with the Brazilians. Rui goes with the captain together with Giovanni. They go to their command post, where the radio is located. Captain mentions that the city will have to be abandoned if the Allies don't arrive. Gaima is having a realization of why he is there. His father always wanted him to serve. He feels proud of saving lives. After all, that's what he is there for, and what he does will surely make his father proud of him. Piaui arrives in the city carrying Meyer. Both of them are extremely tired. By the time Piaui stops, he collapses. The team then comes over to help. They give Piaui some water. They also ask that Meyer is taken to an infirmary. He lost a lot of blood and is barely breathing. Peña and Rui go back to the Italians' command post, just in time for them to know that the Americans are coming. While the Italians are celebrating, they ask for a doctor to look after Meyer. The doctor arrives too late as Meyer is already dead when he comes over to help. He then orders that the dead German be taken to the cemetery. Moments later, the city is celebrating as the Americans arrive. The locals warmly welcome them. In the meantime,